Max is a German Shepherd, specially trained to serve in the police force. Max is not an ordinary dog, but an indispensable companion for Officer Ryan Parker. Ryan is a 35-year-old man, dedicated to his profession, full of patience and passion for protecting justice. He always believes that justice can change the world, but throughout his life, Ryan realized that sometimes justice must also be protected by people who are not human. And Max is the model of a loyal companion, always ready to sacrifice for that ideal. Max was brought into the police force when he was only 2 years old. The dog is intelligent and has the ability to learn extremely quickly. Even though he is just a dog, Max always feels all of Ryan's emotions, as if they can communicate with each other in a language, without words. Whenever Ryan is tired or stressed from work, Max will sit beside him, the dog's eyes looking into the heart of his owner, conveying a silent but extremely powerful message: I will be here with you. Max and Ryan started working together when Max was only 3 years old. During the 5 years, they have experienced many dangerous and stressful situations. Max has helped Ryan solve many complicated cases, from chasing dangerous criminals to searching for victims in emergency rescue situations. In all the chases, Max is always the leader, with excellent scenting ability and unshakable courage. The first sight that people see when Max and Ryan arrive at the scene is the image of Max with jet black fur, bright eyes, and full of determination. People cannot help but feel Max's majesty, but at the same time, the warmth that this dog brings. Max has helped Ryan rescue victims who were held captive in dangerous situations, such as drug dealers kidnapping people or people trapped under the rubble after a disaster. One of the most memorable rescues was when Max discovered a child trapped under an overturned truck in an accident. Max used his keen nose to guide Ryan, even when the situation was extremely dangerous and no one could predict what would happen. Max not only saved the child's life, but also helped Ryan realize how strong the friendship between humans and animals can be. The relationship between Ryan and Max is more than just a combination of police officer and dog. It is a real friendship. Ryan has a small family and a life outside of work, but Max is the friend who is always there for him when he needs it. No one can understand Ryan like Max, and vice versa, no one can understand Max like Ryan. They are the perfect team. Ryan still remembers the early days when he started training Max. Max was just a puppy at that time, not understanding why he had to do difficult exercises. However, day by day, the dog became more and more excellent, and the bond between them also became closer and closer. Every morning, before starting the working day, Max would run to Ryan, wrap his arms around him, and look into his eyes with a look full of encouragement. Ryan always felt encouraged, as if Max said, "We will do it no matter what happens." The long days of tireless work, the cold nights when the two of them were alone to face the darkness and danger, this relationship was increasingly strengthened. Max was the motivation that helped Ryan overcome all the difficulties in life and work. And Ryan, with all his heart, gave Max not only care, but also a lasting friendship, a wordless love. Although their lives are full of challenges, most of the time, Ryan and Max enjoy a peaceful life. After each mission, the two will relax together, taking a walk in the park near their home. Max loves to race on the grass, playing and wagging his tail, while Ryan enjoys peaceful moments with his loyal friend. They are the best of friends. Nothing can separate them. The story begins with such a beautiful life. But one day, everything will change. One early autumn morning, as Ryan and Max were finishing their usual training, an urgent call from the police station broke their silence. A transnational arms trafficking case was causing a stir. Criminals had infiltrated the city and were starting to make dangerous deals. Their goal was not only money but also power and influence, making the case more complicated and dangerous than ever. The police station had been notified of the disappearances of innocent people in the area and suspected that they had been kidnapped to be human shields for arms deals. A special task force had been sent to investigate, but this case needed a more elite team, and Ryan and Max were summoned immediately. Ryan and Max immediately received the order and prepared to leave. While Ryan reviewed the information about the case, Max sat beside him, his eyes alert and ready to go on the hunt. Max was used to the stress of the job, but this time, both of them felt the seriousness. This was the biggest mission they had ever faced. With the information gathered from witnesses and some physical evidence, Ryan and Max began to investigate. They went to a suburban neighborhood where there had been many missing people. Max used his keen nose to sniff out traces that were invisible to the naked eye. These traces led them to an abandoned warehouse located far from the city center. As they approached the warehouse, Ryan and Max noticed something unusual. Although there was no one in the area, the air seemed thick, heavy, and full of tension. Max growled softly, his dog eyes always on guard. Ryan understood that Max had noticed something dangerous was about to happen. He ordered Max to keep quiet, and the two began to enter the area with absolute caution. When Ryan and Max entered the warehouse area, they discovered a group of criminals preparing to make a deal. At this time, Ryan decided to secretly observe from a distance to gather more information. However, as they were moving cautiously, a criminal discovered Max's trail. They quickly realized that the police were there and immediately began to surround them. The trap was set, and immediately, Ryan and Max were surrounded. The criminals were armed and attacked quickly, not giving them any chance to escape. In this dangerous situation, Max immediately jumped into action. With his fighting ability and quick reflexes, Max jumped up and attacked a criminal who was about to attack Ryan. The dog fought fiercely, despite the risk of being seriously injured. Ryan, who could do nothing but protect Max, also fought back. He carefully used his weapons and combat skills to protect himself and the dog. However, the situation was getting worse when more criminals appeared from behind. A heavily armed criminal suddenly rushed in from behind and tried to attack Ryan. At that moment, Max seemed to read the attacker's intention. With quickness, Max rushed in to block the criminal, using his whole body to shield Ryan. Max was shot, but the dog did not let go for a second, still trying to protect his owner. Ryan did not have time to react, while the pain on Max's body made him feel hopeless. However, Max still had no intention of giving up. Max continued to fight back the attacker, using all his strength to stop the danger. Finally, with a powerful attack, Max knocked down the attacker. Ryan quickly called his teammates and the police to arrest the remaining criminals. Although the attacker was knocked down, Max was seriously injured. Ryan rushed Max to the vet, filled with worry. He knew that without Max, things would not have ended like this. Max saved him and his teammates, helping to foil the criminals' plans and save the lives of innocent victims. At the hospital, the vets worked tirelessly to save Max's life. However, the injuries were so severe that they were uncertain whether Max would make a full recovery. Ryan sat by Max's side throughout the treatment, praying for his loyal friend. While Max was being treated, Ryan continued to investigate the case, but in his heart, everything had changed. He realized that his life could not be without Max. Their relationship was not just a professional union, but also an inseparable friendship. The only question in Ryan's mind at this moment was, can Max overcome this injury? And the answer would depend on the resilience of Max, an unbeatable, loyal dog. Ryan couldn't bear to leave Max's side as he lay on the operating table. The dog was fighting for his life, and Ryan knew that if Max didn't survive, he would lose a vital part of his life. The veterinary ward was filled with anxiety and tension. There was only one hope. If Max pulled through this ordeal, he would recover. But if he didn't, Ryan knew there was no way to replace Max. When the vet announced that Max was out of danger, Ryan felt a weight lifted off his shoulders. But that was only part of the problem. Max still needed time to fully recover, and when Ryan took Max home, he realized a terrifying truth. The criminals hadn't just been defeated in the battle. They were planning revenge. Ryan decided to take a break from work to care for Max during this time, but he couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. The criminals Max has defeated have never been ordinary. They are a transnational criminal organization capable of plotting extremely dangerous revenge schemes. And now they know that Max is weakened, which makes everyone in the police force and Max their next target. Ryan begins to notice strange signs when he goes out. Cars parked around his neighborhood, strange figures appearing in the dark. Ryan can't be sure who is following him, but he knows one thing for sure: Max and he are never as safe as they think. That night, Ryan returns home after a long day, taking Max out for a walk like usual. Even though Max is still weak, the dog still wants to go out and feel the fresh air. Suddenly, from behind a corner, a truck slowly moves towards them. There is nothing special about the truck, just a sudden, unsettling appearance. When Max sensed danger, the dog began to bark loudly. This was not a normal reaction from Max, but a clear sign that something was wrong. Ryan, although still worried about Max's condition, immediately took action. He pulled Max towards him and prepared for any possible situation. At that moment, the truck suddenly stopped, and from inside the truck, a group of people rushed out holding weapons. Ryan and Max had no time to react. They were too close, and they knew exactly who was there. A fight broke out right in Ryan's neighborhood. Max, although not fully recovered, still fought bravely, using what was left in his body to protect Ryan. Although Max was very weak, his love and loyalty to his owner made the dog fight relentlessly. Ryan quickly used the gun on his side and struggled to repel the enemy. He could not lose Max again, and that made things more tense than ever. However, while they are fighting, another car appears, blocking their path, putting both Ryan and Max in a tight spot. The enemy began to surround them from all sides, and Ryan and Max's lives were at stake. The criminals had prepared very carefully for this attack. They knew who Ryan was, and they knew that Max would be his only weakness. Both companions faced the fiercest attack they had ever faced. Just when it seemed like everything was over, Max, with his remaining strength, did the unthinkable. The dog used his agility and intelligence to attack the leader of the criminal group. Max jumped up and threw the man to the ground, ruining their plan. However, when Max turned around to help Ryan, another man pointed a gun at him. Ryan rushed forward, using his body to block the shot, but unfortunately, was shot in the leg. Blood began to flow, but with courage and determination, Ryan did not retreat. Max noticed his master's weakness and rushed forward, pushing the criminal away from Ryan. Max's powerful charge made the criminal unable to maintain his stance. In a tense moment, the sound of police cars rang out in the distance. Max and Ryan waited patiently, knowing that rescue was near. Ryan fell to the ground in pain from his injuries, but Max remained steadfast, his loyal eyes never leaving Ryan. Max was a dog, but his love and sacrifice were greater than anything. The police arrived in time and rescued them from the dangerous situation. Ryan's injuries were not too serious, but it constantly reminded him that Max had sacrificed a lot to protect him. And no matter how badly injured he was, Max was still an indispensable friend. Although he was saved in the previous attack, Ryan's injuries have not fully recovered. He still has to deal with pain every time he moves, and the injuries not only affect his physical health but also his mental health. However, Ryan knows that he cannot stay still forever. He needs to continue, because the case of the arms trafficking ring has not been completely solved. And when Ryan starts working again, he realizes that their lives, his and Max's, are still in danger. Max, although still weak, is ready to stand by Ryan's side. With his resilience and boundless love for his companion, Max never gives up. The dog has not fully recovered from his injuries, but tries his best to continue accompanying Ryan on dangerous missions. That day, an urgent call from the police station makes Ryan and Max rush off. A woman has been kidnapped and is currently being held captive in an abandoned house. The criminals have held her captive to negotiate a large ransom. Ryan and Max cannot afford to hesitate. They must act quickly, otherwise the girl's life will be in danger. Max immediately sniffs out and finds traces leading to the abandoned house. With his sharp hearing and vision, the dog leads the search in the deserted, mountainous area. Ryan follows Max in pain but not backing down. They must act before it's too late. As the two approach the detention area, they realize that the criminals have prepared very carefully. A group of armed criminals are standing guard at every door. Ryan and Max have to calculate carefully to avoid being detected. Max bends slightly. The dog moves lightly and flexibly through the darkness, leaving no trace. Max is very careful when leading Ryan near the back door of the house. The dog was not only an assistant, but also a strong friend who knew how to sense and deal with dangerous situations. Ryan knew that without Max, he would not be able to approach the target without encountering strong resistance from the criminals. As he approached the room where the woman was held, Ryan signaled Max to stop. He could not risk approaching directly. Max sniffed with his nose and quickly pointed out to Ryan where he could break in. It was a small window at the back of the house. Ryan and Max immediately moved there. With Max's dexterity, the window easily opened, and the two quietly crept inside. Inside, the woman was tied tightly to a chair, her eyes closed in pain and fear. The criminals had no idea that Max and Ryan were right next to them. In that moment, Max stepped forward, using his steady feet to pull out the things Ryan needed: rope to cut the rope, a gun to protect himself if necessary. Max always knew what Ryan needed in any situation. Ryan signaled Max to step back and gently approach the woman. He carefully untied the rope and encouraged her. However, in just a split second, a criminal suddenly rushed in from outside and saw Ryan. He quickly pulled out his gun, intending to shoot. But before the criminal could do anything, Max rushed in with the speed of a real fighting dog, stopping the criminal. Max took down the criminal in just a few seconds, and Ryan quickly picked up his gun to protect them. With Max's help, Ryan successfully rescued the woman and took her out before the other criminals could react. However, as the three of them were running towards Ryan's car, the remaining criminals caught up and were shooting wildly at them. Max, though still wounded and not fully recovered, used all his strength to protect Ryan and the woman. One criminal rushed towards Ryan and pulled him back, but Max jumped forward and attacked the criminal, stopping him just in time. Finally, when the police rescue was near, Ryan and Max safely carried the woman into the car. Max collapsed, exhausted, but did not leave his companion. Ryan, in deep concern and gratitude, took Max's hand and said, "I know without you, things would not have ended so well." Although Max fought until he was exhausted, the dog did not give up. This dog was always by Ryan's side, protecting him, and when needed, was willing to sacrifice everything for his friend. Max's friendship and loyalty is a powerful testament to the unconditional love a dog can have for his owner. After the stressful rescue, Ryan and Max returned home, both exhausted but still unable to stop thinking about what they had just experienced. Max, despite being a brave dog, still needed time to recover from the previous injuries, plus the blows from this attack. Both of them lay on the floor. Ryan patted Max with his hand, patting a loyal friend who was trying to overcome the pain. Ryan knew that no matter how resilient he was, Max was an indispensable part of his life and work. Not only was he a teammate, Max was an irreplaceable friend who always accompanied him in his darkest hours and gave him strength in his weakest moments. With his minor injuries, Ryan could not afford to be lazy and rest. Although the wound on his leg made it difficult for him to walk, he knew he could not give up. The story of criminals and dangers was not over. But now he could take a break to take care of Max and give himself time to recover. Max lay close to Ryan for the next few days, as if the dog could sense his owner's fatigue. Every time Max lifted his head, Ryan would promptly pat the dog as a thank you and encouragement. They were an inseparable team, and Max never let Ryan feel alone. One morning, while Ryan and Max were resting, an urgent call from the police station forced them into action. A group of criminals involved in a transnational arms trafficking ring had attacked an important area in the city, and the safety of the people was at stake. They had kidnapped several officials, and the government was facing an emergency. Ryan, not wanting to worry Max, decided to continue fighting. Max had recovered somewhat, and it was clear that the dog could not wait any longer to participate in an important mission once again. Max stood up, his eyes shining with a determination that Ryan knew. The dog was ready to fight again, even though he had just recovered from his wounds. Ryan looked at Max, his heart heavy. He knew that this fight would not be easy, but he could not give up because the safety of innocent people was at stake. He called his team, informing them that Max and he would be joining the mission. Ryan and Max were once again called together with a task force and began to put their plan into action. They investigated suspicious points and began to track criminals in the area. Both, though tired, were always ready to face danger. While investigating, Ryan sensed that something was wrong. The criminals were too calculated and well prepared. Things became more complicated when they discovered a larger plot, far beyond the initial kidnapping. It appears that a large-scale criminal organization is lurking with the potential to affect national security. Just when everything seemed to be going well, Ryan and Max walked into a new trap. The criminals had noticed their presence and were preparing for a large-scale attack. A battle broke out as soon as Ryan and his team approached the suspicious area. Ryan and Max quickly realized that this attack was not a normal struggle. The criminals not only had weapons, but also had a sophisticated plan to disrupt and destroy those who stood in their way. Ryan and his team were surrounded and faced a series of unexpected situations. But Max, despite being tired, continued to fight. The dog did not leave Ryan's side, continuing to sniff and find a way out for the group. In difficult situation, Max did the unthinkable. With his agility, Max discovered a secret exit in the area, helping the group escape the enemy's siege. Despite the pain, Max did not hesitate and continued to lead, protecting Ryan and his teammates. When the group finds a safe location, Max is the first to protect Ryan from potential dangers. Max's loyalty and sacrifice once again proves that this dog is not only a loyal friend but also a true hero. Ryan understands that nothing can replace Max. Whether as owner or companion, they are a perfect, inseparable team. While facing dangerous enemies and increasing threats, Ryan and Max always find a way to overcome all challenges to protect justice and the innocent. After the group escaped the criminals' encirclement, Ryan and Max returned to the police station to identify and analyze the information. Although they had completed the mission, Max's injuries had not yet fully recovered. The injuries from the previous attack had caused the dog to fight non-stop, but Ryan was worried that Max's health was seriously deteriorating. Ryan spent time taking care of Max during the following days. Despite his best efforts to recover quickly, Max still appeared more tired than usual. Every time Ryan looked into Max's eyes, he felt the fatigue but also an extremely strong belief from his companion. This dog had never given up, and Ryan understood that if Max could, he would continue to fight. But while Ryan was taking care of Max, a new danger arose. This time, it was not just ordinary criminals but a terrorist organization that was very well prepared. Their goal is to destroy the city, and if they don't act quickly, the consequences will be catastrophic. Information from the police station shows that the terrorist group is planning to carry out a bombing at an important location in the city. This is a bloody attack that Ryan and Max cannot let happen. With what they have faced before, Ryan knows that these criminals cannot continue to carry out their plot. Ryan and the task force are assigned to find the location of the bombs and neutralize them. This is a stressful mission, not only because of the danger, but also because of the time. Every minute that passes is an opportunity for the criminals to carry out their plan. However, the situation becomes even more tense when Max suffers a relapse of an injury from the previous battle. Ryan knows that the dog is having difficulty moving, but Max does not allow himself to stop. Max still wants to help, still wants to protect Ryan to the end. As Ryan and his team approached the suspected area, they discovered a series of bombs hidden in abandoned buildings. The terrorists knew that the police would come, and they had prepared traps. Not only were there bombs, but there were also gunmen hiding in strategic positions. Ryan's team was attacked as soon as they approached the area. At this time, a fierce battle took place. Max, despite his weakness, did not give up. The dog rushed into the fight with indescribable courage. Although his injuries made it difficult for Max to move, the dog still persevered, attacking the terrorists from behind and protecting Ryan's team. Max's every jump and every attack was full of power and determination, not giving the enemy a chance to fight back. Ryan, despite being injured and in great pain, continued to fight. He used his skills and tactics to deal with the terrorists. But when they realized that Max was a big danger, they attacked the dog. One criminal suddenly shot Max, causing the dog to fall to the ground. Max growled in pain, but still did not retreat. Ryan, in a panic, rushed over and pulled Max out of range. At this point, he understood that if he did not do something immediately, Max would not be able to endure any longer. While Ryan brought Max to safety, the terrorists continued to shoot, but Ryan could not abandon his companion. At all costs, Ryan had to bring Max to safety for treatment. Max was still breathing steadily, although injured, but the dog's eyes still followed Ryan as if saying, "I'm still here. I will always be with you." Finally, Ryan's team arrived in time to defuse the bombs and capture the terrorists. Although they failed to carry out their plot, Ryan and Max still could not forget the tense and threatening moments just passed. Max sacrificed himself once again to protect Ryan and his team. When things settled down, Ryan knew that, even if he lost Max again, he would never give up on his loyal dog. Max was his most trusted friend, the one who had protected him all his life and was always willing to sacrifice for him. Although severely injured, Max was out of danger. The vets said that Max would make a full recovery with rest and good care. Ryan knew that his dog's recovery was a miracle. But more than that, he realized that the relationship between him and Max went beyond a normal connection. Max's loyalty, sacrifice, and the deep friendship he had for Ryan were beyond words. A relationship not just between a human and a pet, but between two inseparable friends, always there for each other no matter the circumstances. After a fierce battle with the terrorist group, Ryan and Max retreated to a quiet place to recover. Ryan knew that Max had suffered too many injuries and could not continue his fighting life immediately. The dog needed to rest, and that meant that Ryan also needed to take a break from his work to take care of his companion. However, Ryan could not help but think about what was happening outside. The threat from criminals and terrorist organizations had not completely ended. As each day passed, Ryan tried to find peaceful moments to spend with Max. He cared for the dog, changed bandages, provided food, and was always by his side, encouraging him during the recovery process. Max gradually regained his health, but the wound remained an indelible mark. Every time he saw Max, Ryan felt the resilience and unconditional loyalty that this dog had for him. However, the threat still lurked in the dark. The terrorists could not leave Ryan and Max alone after their recent defeat. They continued to plan revenge, and this time, they not only wanted to destroy Ryan, but also everything he and Max had built. Ryan and Max knew that this war was not over, and the danger was still approaching. One day, Ryan received an urgent call from the police station. A group of criminals affiliated with a terrorist organization had attacked an important military facility, and their main goal was to steal a quantity of weapons of mass destruction. The security agencies were overwhelmed, and Ryan and Max were asked to join in to prevent the disaster. Although Max had not fully recovered, Ryan could not refuse this mission. Max's loyalty and Ryan's determination motivated them to continue fighting. When they arrived at the scene, Ryan and Max realized that the criminals had meticulously planned to sabotage the entire security system. Nuclear weapons experts were kidnapped, and nuclear bombs were hidden everywhere in the area. This was not just a simple mission, but a life-and-death battle, not only to protect their lives, but also the lives of the whole world. Ryan and the special forces entered the area with careful preparation. But surprisingly, they did not only have to face a group of criminals. A powerful armed force was sent to protect their target, creating a dangerous battlefield. Despite his wounds, Max continued to fight tirelessly. Although Max's steps were still slow and weak, the dog did not let Ryan face danger alone. Max continued to use all his remaining strength to lead the special forces, marking the bomb areas, assisting Ryan and his teammates in destroying the explosive devices. As they approached the location of the hidden nuclear weapons, a fierce battle broke out. Ryan, Max, and the task force were surrounded by armed criminals. Max protected Ryan when a criminal rushed to attack. The dog fought with all his remaining strength, using all his strength to attack the enemy. During the fight, a criminal shot Max. The bullet knocked Max down, but the dog did not give up. Ryan rushed to him and hugged Max. He could not accept losing his loyal friend. But in that painful moment, Max moved again, opened his eyes and looked at Ryan with determination in his eyes. Max was still there with Ryan, not giving up despite all the challenges. With Max's help, Ryan and the task force foiled the criminals' plans. The nuclear bombs were defused, and the nuclear weapons experts were rescued in time. However, the price that Ryan and Max paid was extremely high. Max was severely injured, and although the dog survived, the wound was so deep that the doctors could not be sure that he would fully recover. In the days that followed, Ryan stayed by Max's side, caring for and worrying about the dog. With each passing day, he realized that, no matter what the wound was, the bond between him and Max could not be broken. They had fought together, sacrificed for each other, and now they would continue to do so, no matter what they faced. Max gradually recovered, but the dog's health could not be restored. However, Ryan understood that life would never be completely the same. With all the love and sacrifice of Max, Ryan knows that the dog is not just a friend, but an indispensable part of his life. The story is not only a fight against enemies, but also a journey of loyalty, unconditional love, and sacrifice. Max will always be Ryan's loyal companion, and no matter how many challenges they face, they will always be together, continue to fight and protect each other until the end. A year has passed since the dark days that Ryan and Max faced. Their lives have gradually stabilized, although the memories of the fierce battles still haunt them. Max is fully recovered, but the wounds are not only physical, but also imprinted on Ryan's heart. As each day passes, Ryan realizes that the relationship between him and Max is no longer a normal connection, but an irreplaceable friendship and companionship. Max is not only a companion at work, but also a friend in life. Ryan understands that Max is the only person who can understand him, sympathize with him, and share the happy and sad moments in life. Together they have faced challenges, overcome dangers, and still stand firm together. Every morning, when Max runs around a park, Ryan always feels grateful that this dog has always been by his side. Throughout the year, they spent ordinary, yet meaningful moments. Long walks, waking up together in the morning, and relaxing on the sofa, all were simple yet precious things. But one day, Ryan received an invitation to attend an important national security conference. This conference brought together leaders, experts, and security organizations from all over the world. This invitation was not only an opportunity for Ryan to continue his work, but also an opportunity to share his story of sacrifice, loyalty, and the power of friendship between humans and animals. Ryan knew that this was a special opportunity, but he could not forget that Max was an indispensable friend on his journey. He did not want to live without Max by his side, so he decided to attend the conference, but on the condition that Max would come with him. When Ryan arrived at the conference, he was prepared for the tough questions and the attention he and Max would receive. During the conference, Ryan shared stories about the battles he and Max had overcome together. He talked about sacrifice, about the difficult moments when they both faced danger, but especially about the incredible loyalty that Max had shown. When Max appeared on stage with Ryan, everyone at the conference was stunned. A dog had helped save countless lives, stood firm in dangerous situations, and was an invaluable source of encouragement for Ryan during difficult times. Max stood by Ryan's side, listening and watching everyone around him, as if he knew this was the most important moment of his life. Everyone paid their respects to Max, and Ryan felt proud to have this loyal companion. He couldn't imagine his life without Max. After the conference, Ryan and Max returned to their normal lives. Nothing had changed, except for the respect and gratitude they received from the community. Their relationship was more than that of a police officer and a police dog. It was a timeless, unbreakable bond, a friendship between two kindred spirits. Ryan realized that no matter how many challenges came, the bond between him and Max would always exist. They had been through everything together, faced danger, and still stood strong by each other. Their friendship was a testament to the unconditional loyalty, love, and sacrifice that an animal can give to a human. Ryan and Max didn't need words to express their feelings. Every look, every wag of the tail, every time Ryan stroked Max's head, all were deep gestures of affection that needed no words to express. A year had passed, but Ryan and Max's story did not end here. They know that life is full of challenges, but their friendship will never change. No matter where they go, they will always be a team, continuing to face all difficulties, accompanying each other every step of the way. Their friendship has no end, because this friendship is not only based on physical attachment, but also an invisible spiritual connection that only those who have gone through difficult times together can understand. And no matter what challenges they face in the future, Ryan and Max will always be together, steadfastly walking through it all. A year has passed since Ryan and Max overcame the challenging battle, but the images and memories of those days are still fresh in their minds. Although their lives have gradually returned to a peaceful rhythm, Ryan always felt that he needed to do something to remember the sacrifices that Max had gone through. He wanted to give Max a special day, a day to honor the loyalty and strength that this dog brought. Ryan decided to hold a memorial service, not only to honor Max, but also to thank his companions in work and the community. The ceremony will be held in a park near where they live, where Max had countless beautiful moments with Ryan. This is where they ran together, enjoyed peaceful afternoons together, where Max always felt free and happy. Max had no idea that today would be his special day, but when he saw Ryan preparing everything, the dog jumped up and ran around him with happy wagging tail. Max never tired of showing unconditional love and loyalty. His gaze was always filled with strength, but also with gentleness and warmth. When it was time for the ceremony, the people of the area, Ryan's colleagues, and friends who had witnessed Max's heroics in dangerous missions began to gather in the park. The ceremony was solemn, with the participation of police officers, firefighters, and an old friend of Ryan. They were all there to honor Max, not just a working dog, but a true hero. The memorial began with Ryan's speech, as he stood before the crowd and spoke about the days gone by, about the battles he and Max had gone through together. Ryan's words contained the pride, gratitude, and deep love he had for Max. He told of the times Max had saved not only his life but also many others, about the great courage and loyalty of this dog. Max is not just a companion, but a part of my family, Ryan said, his voice choking. This dog has fought for me, sacrificed for me, and has shown me that loyalty has no limits. We may encounter challenges and pain in life, but with loyalty like Max, everything becomes possible. Ryan then brought Max to the stage, where everyone began to applaud. Max stood next to Ryan, his eyes still shining, looking at everyone as if to say, "I'm always here. I will never abandon you." No one could hold back their emotions before the sincere affection and special relationship between these two friends. The long applause continued, showing everyone's gratitude and admiration for Max. During the ceremony, in addition to honoring Max, Ryan also shared memorable memories during the time they worked together. He tells of the battles, of the times they overcame danger together, but also of the simple moments when it was just the two of them walking on quiet streets, with no one outside and the wind blowing. One of the special moments is when Ryan remembers the first time he met Max, when he was just a puppy, but he showed his intelligence and courage from the very beginning. Max was only 2 years old at the time, but he quickly proved that he was no ordinary dog. Ryan also remembers very clearly the moment when Max first saved him on a dangerous mission, when Max rushed in to save him from criminals. During the ceremony, Ryan suddenly gave Max a special gift. He pulled out a special badge from his pocket, engraved with the words, "Loyal Hero." This was a symbol that Ryan wanted to give to Max to show his honor and affection for this dog. He attached the badge to Max's leash as an affirmation that Max was an irreplaceable hero in his life. Max did not understand all the words or formalities, but the dog's tail wagged happily, as if Max also felt the respect and love that everyone had for him. The ceremony ended in emotion and joy. Max and Ryan walked together, holding the leash tightly, past the friends who had given Max sincere compliments. That night, when returning home, Ryan and Max sat together in the soft light, sharing peaceful moments. Ryan knows that while life may bring new challenges and new enemies, the friendship between him and Max will never change. This dog has been with him through the toughest of times, and they will continue to accompany each other, no matter how many hardships they face. Ryan and Max's story is not just about battles, but also about friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice, about how a person and an animal can become inseparable friends. And no matter how many years pass, their relationship will always be a part of both of their lives. One autumn morning, Ryan and Max started a new day like any other, but this time things were a little different. After the memorial service, their lives seemed to become quieter, and Ryan clearly felt that the relationship between him and Max had become an indispensable part of his life. Although Max had fully recovered, Ryan knew that things could not stop here. They still had many adventures and challenges ahead, and the memories they had created would accompany them forever. Ryan realized that life was not just about fighting and working. As well as the difficult years they had gone through, Ryan and Max also had many gentle, happy, and peaceful moments that they shared together. However, danger was always lurking, and Ryan knew that, no matter what happened, they would always overcome it together. Max was always by Ryan's side, every step showing his loyal friendship and unwavering strength. This dog was not just a work colleague, but a part of the family, a confidant, an unconditional protector. Ryan knew that Max would always be there, no matter what happened in the future. One day, while Ryan was walking with Max through the park near his house, they came across a middle-aged man whom Ryan had never met before. The man saw Max and immediately seemed very moved. He approached and looked at Max with eyes full of respect. "Is this Max?" the man asked with emotion in his voice. Ryan was a little surprised but nodded. "Yes, this is Max." The man began to tell Ryan a story that he had never known. It turned out that the man was one of the people Max had saved during a previous mission, a rescue that Ryan and Max had performed. Although Ryan couldn't remember all the details, the man was clearly grateful to Max for the dog's life-saving actions. "This dog saved my life," the man said, his voice choking. "And I will never forget that." Ryan's eyes filled with tears as he heard those words. He realized that every action, every step Max took not only made a difference in his life, but also affected many others. Max was a hero, and the dog's loyalty not only saved him, but also gave hope to many others. After that touching encounter, Ryan and Max continued their journey. Although they didn't know what challenges the future would bring, they knew they were ready for anything. Max has proven that this dog can overcome any hardship, whether physical or mental, to protect the people he loves. Ryan decided to continue his work, not only as a police officer, but also as a protector of those around him. Max, with his intelligence and courage, will always be his companion, not only in work but also in life. This dog has changed everything for Ryan, and he knows that nothing can replace Max. One evening, as the two sat together on the sofa, Max rested his head on Ryan's leg, and Ryan stroked the dog's head, feeling the warmth that Max brought. "Thank you, Max," Ryan whispered. "We have been through everything together, and we will continue to go no matter what happens." There are no words to describe the love Ryan has for Max. They are inseparable friends, an unbeatable team. Max's friendship and loyalty are an everlasting bond that nothing can break. Despite the many challenges they have been through, Ryan and Max's story is not over. Their relationship never stops growing. Max's actions and his sacrifice will always be remembered in Ryan's heart, as well as in the hearts of those they have helped along the way. With a bright future ahead, Ryan and Max will continue their adventures, ready to face the unknown, and knowing that together they will overcome any challenge life throws at them. They will always be a team, an inseparable pair, and this bond will continue forever.